when I was laying in bed last night thinking about this build, and I was thinking, how am I going to do this? How am I going to create all these crafty elements when we don't have a spinning wheel and we don't have a sewing machine? What am I going to do for all of this stuff? These are the solutions that I came up with in my head trying to go to sleep. Hi, hey, hello, my name is Sarah and welcome to another hybrid video between The Sims 4 and Animal Crossing New Horizons, where I take one of my villagers from Animal Crossing and I build their house in The Sims 4. It's just about having a silly fun time and trying to make these builds as accurate as I possibly can. I've done this a few times before and you guys seem to really enjoy these videos. So with that being said, today we're going to be taking a look at Muffy's house in Animal Crossing New Horizons and try to recreate Muffy's house in The Sims 4. Muffy, she is a goth sheep. She's one of my favorite villagers on my island and I love her house too. So with that being said, let's jump into Animal Crossing really quickly so we can take a look at Muffy's house together and then we'll build it in The Sims 4. So this is Muffy's house from the outside. So she's very purple and black in like her fashion. She's also very purple and black in her color scheme for her house. The outside of her house, we've got this beautiful black brick with a purple shingled roof. And because of that, of course, for the landscaping, I had to go with black and purple roses. Very gothic, super dark and gloomy and moody and beautiful. And I'm so excited to try and recreate this in The Sims 4. So then inside Muffy's house, we continue the beautiful black and purple color scheme. She's got beautiful, I don't even know what that pattern is on the floor, but I know we've got a rug in The Sims 4 that has very similar color scheme and this exact pattern. So I know we're gonna have no issues with flooring. She's got a beautiful tiled wall as well, and all of her furniture is very old, I guess. It's very old. You'll see she's got a spinning wheel. She's also got one of the old school foot pedal sewing machines. She's got a beautiful double bed that is absolutely stunning. She also does have a workbench in her house. That's probably the most modern thing. Her little ornate doormat is beautiful and she does have a washing machine. She has an ironing board, which I don't know what I'm going to do for the ironing board in The Sims 4, but anyway, it's fine. And she does have a couple of little extra decor bits and bobs as well. And she has a record player as well. So super fun, and Muffy herself, like I said, goth sheep, she's absolutely gorgeous. I love her to bits and pieces. So with that being said, let's jump into The Sims 4 so that I can try and recreate Muffy's house. So here we are in The Sims 4 and we've got the shell that I use for all of my Animal Crossing builds here because all of the villagers' houses are structured the same way on the outside. Some of them are rounded, like have curved walls, but they all use the same size of house on the outside. So I generally use this as just the beginnings of the house. This is the guide that I use to go with, and I'm super excited to try and just accessorize it, I suppose, furnish it with all of Muffy's goodness. So there's probably ways that I could make Muffy's roof look super accurate in the roof line, I suppose, to how it looks in game, but I'm not a confident builder, so I'm just gonna get a gabled roof because that's just what I do. I'm just here to have a fun time. And also I should just mention, if you see me look off to the side like this, it's because I've got reference images open on my other monitor so that I can accurately try and build this. With that being said, I'm going to grab another gabled roof and I'm going to place it across the top here. And then we do have another curved front entryway here. So I'm going to grab one of these dots and I'm going to arch it up like that. And I'm going to bring the corners in so that the trim will sit nicely there. Beautiful. So we can then put Muffy's porch light above her front door. So with that being said, let's have a look while we're still talking about roofing. Let's see if we can find purple shingles. She's got kind of higgledy-piggledy looking shingles like this one. Shake it up. Oh no, it's not looking good. I might be having that thing where I'm wanting to try and make it as accurate as I can, but I don't have what I need to be able to make it as accurate as I would like to. So do we have any purple? Anything? At this point, I'll just take the color purple. We have to. I was gonna say we have to. None of it is a deep dark purple like Muffy's purple is. But they look way darker in the swatches we're seeing here than, like, look at this one. This is the one I've got selected, right? And I put it on the roof and that is not the same color. It's not the same color. We're in daylight, so I don't know. How strange is that? Anyway, I don't know what to do now. I guess maybe because this one has more of the look of the higgledy-pigglediness, I guess, of her shingles. I guess I'll go with that one. I'm not happy with it though, but you know, what can you do? And then I've got to try and find a wallpaper. Now, specifically, the last house that I did of this was Meringue's house, and she's got the same type of brick as Meringue, but it's all black. So I'm just trying to think, what did I use for Meringue's house? I think I went with this one from Cottage Living. And we've got it in a black swatch. Oh, I wish that we had more accurate roof tiles. I really wish that we had more accurate colored roof tiles. And we're still having this thing where this corner just doesn't want to do the trim on that corner. The Sims 4, she'd be a little bit buggy. I've tried so many things to try and get that to work, but it just never works. So, oh, I'm stoked with that though. And we definitely need a black foundation to match, I reckon. It's got a little bit of brown on it, but I think I'd rather go with that one because it is a brick foundation specifically that I'm wanting. Super fun. Now, for stairs, I'm going to need to delete those stairs because we've got some black. They kind of just look like this rough stone, but in black. Okay, so it's going to be the island living ones instead, I reckon. No worries, totally fine. Moving on to a door. I wish she had a black door to match her beautiful aesthetic, but it's fine. I'm just going to see what I can do. Again, we are going to be limited by what we have available in The Sims 4. I might not be able to do the rounded shape. It might just have to be a basic door and just be similar to the color. Although at this point, I might even struggle with being similar to the color. I'm struggling with that. Okay, but like, hear me out. Hear me out. The reason why I've got this one here is because firstly, I think it goes beautifully with Muffy's gothic vibes. But also, it's got a very ornate door handle and Muffy's door has a very ornate door handle. That's why I'm thinking of going with that one. Because I just don't have the colors that I need. This is crazy. I don't have the color, I don't have the shape, nothing.
5 minutes later.
Yeah, okay, seriously, I've been sitting here for 5 minutes trying to figure out a door, and this is the only other one that I found that's close to it. I don't know, I guess maybe it's this one, and it's only because it's slightly more rounded, and it has, like, the trimming here that you see on very, like, medieval castle kind of doors. So I guess I'm gonna go with that door, because I can't sit here for any longer. So I guess with that being said, this is gonna be the exterior of Muffy's house. It's not great, but it could be a lot worse as well. So with that being said, I'm ready to go and take a look inside. That door really stumped me. I am so ready to go in and actually try to furnish Muffy's house. So let's go inside. Now, I normally start with the flooring, but this time I think I want to start with windows because we do have 2 windows on either side here. I'm going to go with the same windows that I always do, which are the windows that came with Horse Ranch, actually. So I haven't always gone with them because they weren't always a thing when I started this challenge. They didn't exist. But the Horse Ranch windows tend to go really nicely for like the size and the shape of the windows. They're beautiful, and specifically I'm talking about this one. So we've got black, all black, thank you very much. And then I am gonna need some curtains because she's got like slats. Are they called slats? I don't know, but I'm gonna need to cover them up because you actually can't see through them is the thing. So let's have a look and see if I can find what I'm talking about. Kind of like this, I suppose. Kind of like this, but in black. So I guess this one from Snowy Escape is going to be the best that I can do. So let's just get those windows covered. We know they're there, but they are covered. I'm a little bit nervous about this wall tile though, because she's got beautiful big squares and they're very ornate. And I don't think we've got anything like that. I'm going to go straight into masonry, I think. I mean, we've got some bigger brick, but that's not quite the vibe. Okay, maybe not. Maybe I just need to go into tile. Although this one from Spa Day looks to be like an even bigger brick, but it's more of a square brick rather than a rectangle brick. But at this point, I can't afford to be so picky. So I think I am gonna go with this one from Spa Day, and I am ready to move on to the flooring. I'm excited about it. Like I did in Meringue's build, I am going to go with like a timber floor, but I'm going to go in the black swatch of the timber floor. And then I'm going to find this rug that I'm thinking of. I swear, when I think of rugs, I always seem to think that they come with City Living, but I actually think that this one comes with City Living. I think it's this one. It's not that one. Oh no, where is it? I should know by now that it's never City Living that I'm thinking of. Oh, I am struggling to find it. The issue is I know that the swatch that I'm thinking of is not the default swatch for this rug. So I also know that it's a 2-tile wide like this. It's actually very similar in size and shape to that one. I think I'm seriously struggling to find this freaking rug right now. What is going on? What do you mean I'm struggling? I can picture it so vividly because we've got the exact same pattern in a blue swatch as well. And I can picture it so vividly.
One eternity later.
I found it and it was City Living. Oh my goodness. For once it actually is City Living. It took me way too long to find. I'm going with it. It's not exactly the same, but it's gonna be absolutely close enough. It's actually a bigger rug than I thought it was. I thought it was only this size. So I'm sizing it down to this size because I'm trying to make it look super cohesive. And I'm trying to cover as much of the floor as I can. Alright, with that being said, Muffy's flooring is done, and it is exactly what I had envisioned, thankfully. Let's get into looking at some of the furniture that she's got. And I'm going to start with the bed. We have an actual bed, which is nice because there's been some villages that I've had where they don't have a bed or they have like a rose bush for a bed. Anyway, it's totally fine. Even like this is kind of giving me the vibe shape-wise, not texture-wise, but shape-wise it's giving me the vibe. Or then there's a bed like this one where it's not the exact same shape, but it has the paneling on the end that I like. And we could even do it in that swatch. So I'm kind of thinking we go with that bed actually. Let's get rid of those ones and let's chuck this one in the corner because I reckon the vibe is right. We're looking for the right vibes. So then we've got like a fold up table that has a sewing box on it and a tall boy as well. So I'm going to start with the tall boy. And honestly, this one from For Rent. And then let's see if we've got a table that could pass as like a fold up table because it's this one from Outdoor Retreat. Is it not this table? It is like exactly this table. Oh, I'm going to have to scoot that into the wall and I'm gonna have to scooch this up as far as I can because we don't have much space next to a bed for her shoes. Anyway, it's totally fine. In front of that, she has a very old school foot pedal sewing machine, which is really cool. Oh, we don't have anything like that though. So I think what I'll do instead is maybe we'll go into like some nifty knitting decor and maybe get something that fits. Like hold on, I am going to go into decor for a second so I can show you exactly what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. We've got a tabletop loom. So because we don't have a sewing machine, what if instead we went with this tabletop loom? Your Sims don't actually use it, but it's there as decoration and there's like the connotation that your Sims use that to craft something. Okay, so I reckon that's what we're gonna have to do for that. I'm actually gonna move it down so it's halfway into the room though, I think. And then next to that sewing machine, we've got a record player. Now, in The Sims 4, we do have a record player, which is awesome, but it doesn't have this very fancy lily on top of it. So I'm gonna try and get a nightstand that has the same vibes as the white part of the table that it's sitting on. It looks very old, very Victorian inspired. So I'm going to try and go for something like that for an end table. And then we're just going to put the record player that we have on top of it. These are sort of the ones that I'm thinking of, and straight away I think I'm actually gonna go with this one. This one just has the nice vibes. I don't know, how many times do I say vibes in this video? I say vibes all the time, but it's true. It's accurate, I think. It gives the vibes that I am looking for. So let's grab the record player here, and I guess maybe we'll go with a pink one because the pink is how we're going to represent the lily in this situation by having a pink record player. That is our nod to it being a lily in Animal Crossing. Anyway, over by the doorway, which interestingly, this time I actually did put the arch so that we've got 2 spaces on either side. So it is actually accurate to the floor plan of our Animal Crossing home now. So across from that, we do have the washing machine and the ironing board. Now I know we've got washing machines, so that's exciting. And it's black, so I can chuck that right there, super easy. And we've got a little basket on top of it, which I know exactly which basket I'm gonna use in decor. But then there's the ironing board. We do washing in The Sims 4. We have laundry day, but we don't have ironing. And we don't have an ironing board in a functional sense, but I know that there is a wall sculpture that has an ironing board as a part of a wall sculpture. So I'm gonna look at that really quickly. It may have even come with laundry day, so let me have a look. Yeah, okay, we've got a couple. We've got this one, Press to Impress, and we've got this one, the emergency laundry kit. But because it's just an ironing board and an iron, I'm just gonna get this one. And hers has a grey cover on it, so I'm gonna get this grey one. We don't have an iron in The Sims 4, but we've got the ironing board, so it's totally fine. So then on the other side of the room, we do have her workbench, which honestly, it just looks like a table with a whole heap of stuff on it. Like there's some workbenches that I've done before that look very much like the woodworking table that we've got in The Sims 4, but this just looks like a table with a whole heap of stuff on it. So I'm happy to just go with a table and put a whole heap of decor stuff on it to make it look like a workbench. That could work. What's the darker swatch of that? Yeah, the darker swatch is the way to go. So I'm stoked with that. And then behind her bed, kind of around here, we have a spinning wheel. Now again, we do have nifty knitting in The Sims 4, but we do not have a spinning wheel. So my thought with this was if I grab a little stool, because we should have something that I can recreate as a little stool here, and then maybe we just grab like a knitting bag. When I was laying in bed last night thinking about this build, and I was thinking, how am I going to do this? How am I going to create all these crafty elements when we don't have a spinning wheel and we don't have a sewing machine? What am I going to do for all of this stuff? These are the solutions that I came up with in my head last night in bed trying to go to sleep. With that being said, it's time for decorations and decor. Very excited for that. So I'm going to start with above Muffy's bed. I don't think we've got roses per se, but we've got a couple of things. We've got this herb cluster from Journey to Batu, but I also know that in Realm of Magic, we've got a hanging thing as well. Here, this is the dryer plants dryer, because we've got sage, we've got even some roses on there, so there is flowers on there, whereas this one from Journey to Batu is a herb cluster. So I think I'm going to get rid of that, and we're going to go with this instead above Muffy's bed to symbolize that. For her hanging dress, I am thinking of going into dresses because we've got the clothes hanging. Never mind, it's got to be placed on a specific object, and I have move objects on, so I know that technically it should be fine, but it's got to be placed on a specific object. So maybe we're just gonna have to forget about the dress, unless I can maybe find a picture of a dress. I'm willing to look and see if I can find a picture with a very specific fun looking dress on it. I don't know. So this poster is our nod to the dress that should be on Muffy's wall. Anyway, moving on to the other corner, her workbench. So you know what, because this is the last little bit of decorating that I've got to do, I've still got to do landscaping. So I might furnish this little workbench because it's going to take me a while to organize it all. So I might finish that off camera, and I'll do all the landscaping off camera as well. So you're about to see Muffy's house fully decorated, fully landscaped.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
This is Muffy's house, landscaping done and everything. I used a lot of stuff that came with romantic garden stuff because a lot of the statues and things like that give me very gothic garden vibes. Like, just have a look at this statue, would you, of this lady. We've got a little fairy statue. We've got this encased little patio thing, and inside that there's like a fountain, but it's got plants inside of it instead of it being water. So I put that inside that enclosed little patio thingamajig. And then I did include some trees, some scraggly trees as well, because I wanted to have a little bit of edge to it, because Muffy, she's very sweet, don't get me wrong, but she does have a little bit of edge to her as well. So I was really excited to explore some of those elements in her landscaping. Of course we've got purple, of course we've got black, because that is her color scheme. And I really like this little garden path leading up to her front door. So with that being said, let's go and take a look inside, shall we? I'm a little bit nervous to see how the flooring looks close up like this, but hey, that's not too bad actually. And it definitely has like everything that we needed that was essential, and then what we couldn't have, we definitely made do with. Now, this is the desk that I clutterized. There is stuff all over this desk. Her workbench was very cluttered itself, and I feel like that gives the perfect vibe. So yeah, I'm happy with this. Considering there was a lot of stuff that we didn't have, that I was laying awake at 2 o'clock this morning going, how am I gonna do this in this build? I'm happy with how it turned out. Very cute. So with that being said, if you would like to download Muffy's Animal Crossing house for yourself, I will put it on the gallery. I always put these builds on the gallery. My gallery ID is sezrawrr, the exact same way it's spelled here, and you will find it under Muffy's acnh house. For some reason, my beautiful purple tree isn't showing in this photo. It should be right there, but it does in the next one. It's just not there in the first one for some reason. Anyway, totally fine. Very cute. Now, it does unfortunately use a lot of packs. Sorry, I'm trying to make these builds as accurate as I possibly can, and I know that no one's really gonna download these anyway. It's just for the funny ha-has of the video, that is all. It is not a functional house. It's not supposed to be. It's just supposed to be Muffy's house, and I definitely think that it is. But you guys, that's all I've got for this video of building Muffy's Animal Crossing New Horizons house in The Sims 4. I'm super stoked with how this one came out. I've still got a few more of my own villages to go, and I'm starting to see some more of the villagers whose homes I've already built wanting to leave my island. So there's going to be even more villagers' homes coming through. I'm so glad that you guys seem to be enjoying these videos, because I have the most fun making them for you, exploring my little love of Animal Crossing and my big love of The Sims 4. If you would like to see more of me, including more Sims content that I've got coming your way, hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell next to it to be notified of every time that I upload. And if you liked this video, let me know by hitting the like button down below and leave me a comment as well. Leave me the sheep emoji in the comments down below to let me know that you got this far in the video, that you enjoyed how Muffy's Animal Crossing New Horizons build in The Sims 4 turned out, and that you're excited to see this again with a different villager next time. But guys, I hope you're having the greatest day ever, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!